stuff up, bro. Yo, you waiting for me? I see you waiting for my feet, man. Oh, buzz it. You a trip, bro. Look, I see you. It's a trip, bro. Yeah, somebody on my feet, man. What I tell you, you scratch my feet one more time, what's gonna happen? I didn't say I'm not gonna ask you to do it. Told you what's gonna happen. You ain't gonna like it. Yeah. It's a fart head. Got your sock now, you happy? He's ready to get on everything. What you going through, man? Listen. You got plenty. It's the same water I'm drinking. You always begging. Oh, I knew it. Now, yeah, we're gonna get your breath. And we're gonna put that right behind me because you did pretty good. No, you're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, fool. 10, fool. 10, fool. Hey, go ahead. I gotta change it anyway. Don't worry about what I'm doing over here. So damn nosy, man. He looking at what I'm doing. He's like, look, cuz. Put my afro on, and chase you all through this motherfucker. Get the run on today, because I ain't going nowhere today. And this morning. Yeah, that's good. I am sore, y'all. It's a good sore. But I got one bag of ice. Out of all ice I keep buying, right? But I'm gonna run that cold water with some lavender, Epsom salt. And I'm just going, I got my swimming trunks sitting right there, put them on. I'm just gonna immerse myself in that cold water and then pop the ice bag. Usually put the ice in. No, I guess to get me cold water first. I gotta freak through that. And then I'm gonna add the bag of ice. Just one big long bag of ice, you know, the big long bag. I don't think it's real water, but anyway, I'm gonna add that to it just to, oh my goodness. I'll be good to go tomorrow. Just do it all over again. Did I work out? No, I didn't work out today. I jumped down into a push-up and then jumped up and then I said that's enough. One's enough. I ain't trying to look like cuz on that TikTok. God, some retarded shit. Is it good, Papa? It's good? Yeah, he likes that. That's your team. You looking at, I can see you on the camera, bro. We're gonna get to the next reading of this, and then I'll read the heaven bearers and stuff, and then we'll bring it around. And I might just go ahead and read like 4 paragraphs in it, and of course Enoch. It's one whole quatrain, and then go right in the flat landness after I read the heaven bearers, the exposition, and the mud flood. So I'll read short parts of that, show the last pictures of the mud flood. I got another book of mud flood. So then from there, then I'll go into Enoch and then read the flat landness, and I'll give you a better understanding of this. I might retract and go back to what's the 4th or 5th chapter? 5th chapter, I think it was. It was talking about the Negro Mountain. I think it was 4th or 5th chapter. We'll find this. Nobody's in a rush, right? Anybody having a problem with patience and time? Okay. I don't think so. You good, buddy? You good? You left some crumbs, guy. I know I'm gonna wash and change it, but you left crumbs, bro. You like you on crack, bro. What's good with that? You on crack with that? What's the woman? It's 10. It's 10. 10. Yeah. Eat them crumbs, man. Like you rich or something. Ain't nobody rich up in here. You gonna want them crumbs? I'm gonna put them crumbs in your bowl, man. You was bugging. Yo, hombre, get them crumbs, F.A. He turned around and looked too. Let me put that up. He be not back on my head. Look, he's ready to jump on my fingers because I'm doing this. He's like, what the fuck is all that going on, cuz? Yo, cuz? Long he'll start, damn more and cripping it up. I mean, we good. We close to that edge, We got the big ones running around out here, over here. Oh. Reading the minor shack. He's looking right at the words. Now, he's actually looking at the picture like he knows what he's looking at, y'all. I'm dead serious. I'm not lying. I don't have to make nothing up. And now he's looking at the Grand Canyon and everything. And he's looking back at the Western. Anyway, that's going to be part of the conversation. I'm serious. He's looking at the picture right now. I love it. Oh, you want some of this? You want some of this too? No, I didn't even have it over there. I had that photo over here. No, you can only see way over here. He was looking right over there. Now he's looking at the light. Oh, he's trying to play it off on the light. I just pulled it up. Look at that. Get that. Hold on. Now he's looking at the light. There was no light over there. I just started looking at it. There's no light over there. He was looking directly at the TV and directly at the picture. I ain't have this on there. If the light won't, it won't even show over there. It won't even show over there. It won't show nowhere over there. Unless I angle it. You ain't see me doing that. Now he wants to play with the light. Well, on my face. See that? I have a little laser light to do all that, y'all. Little things to set my rifle in with? I got like 4 or 5 of those. So I keep one and I just turn the red light on and he goes ballistic. I wish I could make it go in the back of my head. He'd be like, pat! Get a Tony Baker voiceover, right? I'll give you these paws. Pitty pat pat pat. He's big, right? From when I rescued him, he's big, right? About a year? Just about 10, 11 months something. I think a year because he looked like he was about a month, 2 months, maybe 3 months. So he might be a little over a year. He may be over a year. Oh, I've had him for a while now. Yeah, maybe a month over, maybe. I had him all through summer, so. About a year, maybe. Because he was, like I said, like a month, 2 months, easily. Like abandoned. Attempting to find his mommy, or it looked like somebody threw him out of a window of a car because his back legs weren't working there right. Like they were atrophy, whatever that word is. I forget. You know what I'm talking about. And so I've always, when he was a little kid, and so when he got well half that size, every day I massaged his hips so he'd have better movement. It's still not as strong, but it's better. He's jumping up on things, much more balanced. He lands on them now, when before he would fall, like, you know. Ain't that right, Papa? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, it's right there, it's right there. Okay. Oh, you want that? Oh, I sound like that old fishing guy. You want to get that? Oh, you want that? Oh, it's on my face. Oh, it's in the window. Oh, you're going to jump in the window. Oh, there you go. There you go. He head bobbing. He like, where that? Oh, okay. All right. It's my favorite joint right there. Any of y'all growing up in the 70s, remember that? Seven Samurai, Magnificent Seven. All right, let's go ahead and get this reading going. And how many of y'all know about the Taurus Mountains near Kimura, Turkey? Well, in those mountains, not by because it's an island, not by the seabed, but literally in the mountains, thousands of feet up. If you Google it, the Taurus Mountains, you will see petrified seashells, mollusks, and stuff like that in the mountains. You know, I'm not pushing religion. Don't worship. I ain't trying to tell you to worship some bull. I'm telling you for enlightenment. There's more and more information every day being pushed forward about our truth. Now, the problem with that is, should we be more careful because the enemy's watching and ready to set shit ablaze? The narrative that they follow to a T, Revelations, which is probably its writing or their writing. Who gives a fuck? Like I said, this is its end, no matter what it does. All the perversions who chose to be in the abyss of lies. So, I know we have individuals who are supposed to be highly intelligent and intellectual, talking this a God or we gods, you know, it's got an issue with the word God. Now, I do too, because it's an out of elemental situation. Well, remember what I expressed about be careful of, choose your words wisely. Some people want to be perceived, or this perception of being highly intellectual. I'm not denying that, but intelligent as far as the things they discuss, as if they're speaking their own parable, without actually knowing the truth, just because they're cut from a small different cloth that allows them to realize some shams. Obviously, they don't know everything. I don't. And that's not to exude me in some position as if I do. No, I'm not some diorama. I'm not, no. And that's not to beat up on the individuals that are doing that. What I'm saying is, these platforms were created solely to out the righteous, per se. Even if the dynamic is to keep a division, because there are many individuals out there within costume characters, benches, courts, whatever, pews, who are doing perverse things, and they are aware of what they're doing. That would create division, right? So that pits one against another. It's still the same dynamic system that keeps us in our own purgatory. That's why it's very important with knowledge to read text, to have context, to know of an old world. And you would know that when I always stated everything is backwards and reverse, upside down and inverted. What does that mean? Pretty much what I'm saying. So, if it's in the book, what is the reversal of that? Being out here. If the flood happened and our history of it was perverted to mean something else, but then we never had the mudslides, we didn't have all the explosions and this, that, and other. The fact that the nuclear bomb is not new. The only reason why it was sought out because it was made before. How many? what were they used for? In case they were probably set aside in case Tartaria fell. But I believe they were used by those who betrayed in certain places. The dynamics of Russia, which we read before, the explosion, and other places where the same thing is spoken of, which they believe, you believing that big, we'll get into that in Terra Infinita, the second book, but craters are from meteorites, which is nonsense. Now, were there things that were destroyed that were perversion? Look at how they got the maps made out. From the Caucasus Mountain up, supposed to be all pale-skinned Europeans, and we know otherwise today. And from that part down until you get into the South Africa, which is pale, all that in the middle, which is half desert, which it wasn't in the late 17 and early 1800s, that was all green. And the Great Wall is down there, reminiscent to the G people. And it was supposed to be all the melanated people. Yet, from the Caucasus, where this Ashkenaz supposed to be all pale skin. Yet we know that Prussia was originally a melanated city, just like Hispaniola and all these other made-up new names, Germany and England and all that. Italy, you see with a horseshoe of that, just like San Fran, right where it sits at. And now America, if it's below the Caucasus, how is it that all of a sudden this is supposed to be pale skin? See, and with that, the pale skin's history is we come from, what is it called? Not creation. We have a creation story. They have from monkeys and apes. I'm not creating division here. I'm just stating something that most people don't know about. And then the other perplexing thing is, in the late 1800s, early 1900s, these people, 1900s, these people were coming over here in droves, millions. And we were at war nonstop. Not the Mongol and the mongrel. They weren't at war with shit. Anyway, listen, you weren't. So feel whatever you want to feel. I've got documents and enough written history, and it's not to push haters to stop y'all for being consistent in your damn lies and not knowing that your great-great-grandparents, how they lied. That's why y'all in those boarding schools, which weren't boarding schools, and if you acted out of character, remembering the old world, you were put in a psych ward, and the Vatican had people like Mother Teresa come by, and your bones lay up under the Vatican now, along with everybody else's who woke up. Namaste. Anywho, isn't it funny, the doggone our ancestral stories, until we started incorporating the lies? We all come from a Sirius star, this, that, and other. Those are other. Now, some of those stories might be correct, where some of our melanated fellow brethren might be from the other Earths. When I say Earth, I'm not saying another. You got to remember that the plane, the terra firma, is the whole existence. Now, what's on it? Footstools. If we are a footstool, why would there only be one? I'm only pointing out things just for some context and for conversation and communication of another sort. Those are things I want you to be able to look at. But in the Taurus Mountain, Taurus, right? Taurus Mountain, Taurus, Taurus Mountain, like the bull Taurus. For those who want to hold on to that, yeah, just like Grand Canyon, where there's no water at, no ocean, highest diddly squat. All right, Kilimanjaro, Japan, all those places have these remnants of seashells, mollusks, and all sorts of things we don't see, and we're not in the ocean to confirm the fact that they probably still exist. Okay, I want y'all to perceive things, conceptualize things based on the reality, not the lies that we have been given over and over and over. In order to keep a people divided, they must have those who are highly thinking. Well, highly, I mean a little more than the next person. We're very evolved, but something has been disconnected. I am only expressing this for you, for some of you, and it's not going to happen to everybody, sadly. I don't want to speak that negativity. I don't want to negate that upon anybody. Yet, and I don't know. I just know some of you are going to get this and you're going to run with it. Because if that wasn't the case, then everybody'd be here knocking on the door, peeking through the window, attempting to find out. A lot of people think they got it all together. So the ones who are talking this God stuff really need to be quiet. Like I said, how do you think you're going to take something, prove or point to yourself to fulfill what? I don't want to take nothing from any of y'all. I'm going to give information. How many of y'all saw somebody talk about both Boulder, I can't even, I hate saying the name. Boulder, Yahweh, a trickster, a liar, that would enslave a people in the physical, so they can never, even though the source always goes back. See, I didn't tell the whole story. To attempt to conquer it, so that I can conquer that which we originally come from, which we, in divinity, know there's more to it, but there's nothing wrong with not knowing it until you remember it. The problem is to keep people ecstatic. Keep, you know what I mean? Keep pressing, pressure, and keep people as far from the reality of it, what could be the truth as possible. And wars are an excellent way. If you ever pay attention to some people that fight a war, you're on somebody else's soil. You're killing people because these engines are telling you to, or created a false narrative to push you there. More and more people are seeing this. But do if I was to stop talking, I don't have no fear about nothing. It doesn't matter what happens. I know what's going to happen in the end. That's all I can tell y'all. Now I got that piece of the puzzle. As far as everybody, I can't speak for everybody else. I know that people are waking up in droves. They're still canoodling the false narrative as far as their identity. Regardless of what that Professor Miss Jane, whatever her name is, says, or what the once time news reporter, what was his name? Talked about the presidents and all that kind of stuff. I forget his name. He has a YouTube channel, I believe now, news reporting. And even other people, even Alex Jones, pointed out the fact, it was a melanated world. And pale skins are melanated, unless you're albino or are suffering from albinism. And if you have leprosy and you are stricken with Bitica, whatever it's called, Michael Jackson, supposedly, Uncle Ruckus, Bitica, whatever that stuff called. I detest certain words, y'all. I do. So I always attempt to strike something, Bitica, you know what I'm talking about, that Bitica with the skin starts. I knew people growing up in school. I got friends whose sisters and good, probably our kinfolk as well, guaranteed to be our kinfolk who suffer from that. That is a form of leprosy. You see what I'm saying? And most people don't know that. You see what I'm saying? Oh, that's your business face account, Sean? Report. Excuse me, y'all. My apologies, man. I thought it was a fake account, brother. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to go back and unblock that, man. I didn't record nothing. My apologies. Hold on. Didn't know it. All right. So anyway, Sean Brent. That's a good brother of ours. Report, you remember Sean Brent. That's my boy. Yeah. Anyway, he named his son after me, James. So I reported an account. It said it was all this, look like pay this, look for that. That was his business page. I've got to straighten that out. I should have asked first up, but there's so much hacking going on. Oops. I'm very protective. Anyway, what is that? What is it called? Vertical, you know what I'm talking about. So the majority of pale skins are called pale skins because they're not white. They are less melanated, which is an issue. And that comes by way of a form of leprosy, contextual to a diet. And also it could be an outside. Yeah, there you go. Vitiligo, whatever. I hate the word. Anyway, thank you. I appreciate that report. Excuse me. They could be from another suggestive. I am not saying that's the case. There's so much, because when they came here, there was so much, there was so much mixing. And it was funny, after the world was, our earth was sort of destroyed, and then the mudslide, they pop up out of nowhere. And Sean, I'm gonna smack you in the head. They pop up out of nowhere. Who's to say they weren't brought here for the purpose that they've been attested to create a fraternity, to call themselves Masons, have nothing to do with bricklaying or anything, but to still and to learn from us, as they did learn from us. We had our women breastfeeding the orphan babies all over the place. Now, the other issue I have is with slavery. There weren't no slaves, people. Like, when are some of the melanated people going to get this through their thick head? They were indentured to slavery, and then the ones they produced were enslaved, and they run around like they're big sticks. But you can see how dumb a lot of the police officers are. You have some ones of good context because they're not white. They just don't know it. The other ones, something is wrong with them. No, deeply. And a handful of them are able to correct and fix it. But the majority, something is wrong. And you see it all the time. They aren't even aware of how they came to be, and the fact that the positions they're in the 1900s, we was richer than all of them. Yes. What do you think of all that hate and robbing and murder and stealing and burning up great cities and everything else was about? And when you talk about Oklahoma, San Fran, we played a role in that one, but and all the other ones, Chicago, all them places. Many lives somewhat lost too. These people don't even care about their own. No, seriously. And if that is very, very broken. You dig what I'm saying? Broken like what? So therefore, we must come out of that old, very young, old brokenness, regardless of what may have happened 2,000 years ago or what may have happened last year. Okay? We can adapt to anything. You must always say, I free this. Listen, I got to raise that because he's going to tear that up, y'all. Let me raise it. You look like a spider. There you go. There you go, Papa. All right. There you go. There you go. What you doing? There you go. Shouldn't be too bad. Shouldn't be too much light in my head face. And we say, oh, it is. I released this pattern from me. Oh my goodness. I'm at the bruh. Let me see if I turn it this way. Okay. I release this pattern, all right, from me that keeps me in this condition. Well, in this condition, all right, you don't have to say both of them. The experience is what it is, but it ends up being a condition. But you can say experience as well if you don't want to go through the experience to remove yourself. So you must say that. And there's other things you can say too. You can purpose anything or repurpose anything. So you free yourself from this pattern. You free the pattern from you. All right. So I free the pattern from me that keeps me in this system, or whatever you want to call it, that keeps this condition, whatever you want to call it. And you must say it, okay? I mean, I said it verbatim as the way it was taught to me, but it's nothing wrong if you say other ways. Because you know it's an experience. It could be the system. It could be whatever, all right? So that way you have a follow through and you commit yourself to it to make change. I'm just giving you one. The other thing is to start researching. And research is not conflicting or problematic. It is all right to look up these things. And then see the people who have been doing this and applying it. Not just me. I had to learn it from other people, all right? But what it allowed me to do, how y'all say step your game up? It allowed me to step my game up, I guess you want to call it that. Like I said, it's not a competition. It is not a competition. You are light. You are pure energy. Looking in the mirror, and reflecting, questioning everything, even of your existence, is of the utmost importance, because no one else is going to do it. And when they do it, if they can do it for you, then wouldn't you be relieved and elevated? It doesn't work that way. You have to do it. You have to do it. Because there's a group of people who are still going to do what you cannot even do. They're going to do it. I'm not speaking into fruition. I'm not speaking into reality. It's always been the Plymouth Rock landed on you. You dig what I'm saying? Even that's a fake history too. But the reality is, yeah. Hell, Plymouth Rock might have been an old sound structure, part of Tartaria. Who knows? We have to allow ourselves. I can't allow you. You can't allow me. I must allow, like forgiveness. I just can't tell you, I forgive you and it works that way. I got to forgive myself first. Once I'm comfortable with that, I can say, I forgive you for holding that against me. And then you say, but do you forgive me? Do you forgive yourself for your actions? Oh, you do? Then everything is all good. Then that means you can forgive me for having something against you because I've already forgiven you. That should elevate. That should be another element. It's hard because we always want to accept the pain that creates issues in our bodies. It's a pattern. So if you want to free yourself from that pattern to see the opposite side, because you know everything is backwards reverse, so we got to turn it around, upside down and inverted. We got to flip that. So in order to do that, I free this pattern from me, or this, all right, that keeps me in this experience, and I keep suffering from these conditions, okay? And you must, I don't care if you yell or scream it, you have to be the instigator to your own suffrage to remove it. You got to say, not today, not as a meme or something great for TikTok. I went over to TikTok to get rid of the account, and the first thing I see, the first 4 or 5 things is shims. Thank goodness I made a couple of videos because I saw some things that were important. I was like, I'm done with you bastards. So I still have to go over there and make sure, because I was getting ready just to remove it again, and I said, I got to deactivate the account. Yes. So I said, but let me go and read, because I was just right there. I just made 3 videos, I think. Report, you might have seen them. Y'all might have seen them. But yet the thing is, we can't make anyone do anything. Actually, we can't, but when you have subjugated yourself to moral standards and you want to not convince yourself or lift yourself in those moral standards, your purpose is not to do that. Now, if we're together, then we get things jumping. Yo, Rondo, West Side says it sounds good. Trauma says it sounds good. So, boom, they're both at work, all right? And so we're looking at make it here next Friday. Everybody's going to make it here. If anybody else want to come through, we're going to be out at the range. We're going to be doing some talking, cooking some stuff, watching TV, whatever. I don't drink, so I don't do all that getting drunk. I don't like them spirits that come with that. It just don't happen with me. You dig what I'm saying? I would say if you drink and you come in here, I got some organic wine, but the alcohol stuff, weed's fine. It's recreational here. I'm just not smoking. You dig what I'm saying? The one day you saw me take the puff, that was it. That was just to check how I felt. I was like, man, let me go get some dark chocolate, a banana, and some honey, and some cinnamon, and jump my ass up in bed, and that's what I did. Anywho, it's important. He's laying on top of the blanket now. It's important that we magnify one another as we magnify ourselves. You dig what I'm saying? And it's very important. Why is it important? As far as what we clearly understand important to be today, I believe that it's just of importance. So that way we can move to whatever level is supposed to be next, and we don't have to discuss it on here. I don't have to keep bringing these things up. I think I've been bringing it up more than enough. Now, certain people didn't get it. Well, maybe I will extrapolate on things in a different way. I can do it. I just chose to be more direct with a few. So when the masses or more start coming, and man, Rich Lonewolf, what's going on? All right, bet, Ronald, y'all just popped up. We'll go ahead and we'll get that in. We'll make it happen. You dig what I'm saying? And believe me, when you start really looking deep into yourself and elevating yourself, for those who are not afraid to, you're going to see beyond the veil that hides you from you. And when that happens, you'll start stepping more into you. I'm saying this based upon the fact. You're going to step more into you. There's still going to be cobwebs, man. There's some little dead bugs and shells dangling around. You got to get rid of them Irish pendants. Well, Irish pendants, a little phrase on your clothes that hang off. Like in the military, we had to get rid of them, you know, tape and razors, and we had to be unblemished. So that is what that means, unblemished. In your own eyes, real life cattle rustlers. Anyway, in your eyes, you must be unblemished. You need to make that part of who you are, not just contextually, but textually. You must make it a reality, because the reality that we are pursuing in is not real. I don't want $150 off a Samsung tablet. You know what? I thought I put yes for stop, but anyway, notifications. I'm tired of them. I'm gonna turn all of them off. The greatest fighters. Oh my goodness, I'm about to shut all of them off. Anywho, if we allow our light to diminish anymore, oh boy, that's what it's waiting on. And believe me, it will diminish the light as quickly as possible by any means. Now you see all the stuff coming out about Balenciaga, the Kardashians, all these Hollywood stars, so-called stars and sports figures. You see all the perverseness, even politicians, they're doing their best to clean it up. It's just coming out, and it's not going to stop. You know what that means for it and them? It means we're going to have to do a reset. We're going to have to put our little monkeys out there, our little beasts, and make them start doing some things that nobody's used to. And the first part of it is going to be shock and awe before anybody realizes, oh, we got to fight back. But by that time, when people don't know how to be reactionaries appropriately, they'll just be boom, 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 everything from every angle, from everywhere. And then when the other people start realizing it, it'd be too late for them, because the people who could fight back, well, they'll be pretty much decimated. Now, we know that without us, none can survive. But it and them don't care. You see, there's a difference when you're talking about moral subjugation and you elude people that come from animals. Very possible. But we've got our genome all through them. So how do you become dismissive? You love your dog, you love your cat, you love your sequoia, and I don't believe that. I'm just saying, I believe it's another divisive tactic. I believe all Earths are important. And in the readings, we'll see how many others helped many others. Who do we think we are when we have help from all sides all the time? You know, I look at family members that went to Vietnam or fought in other wars, wherever, and I always say to myself, was anybody aware of what was going on, or were people so angered, regardless of how it was created? Like, look at Hawaii. Remember, Washington knew for weeks. Nobody did nothing. They needed, and who was the instigator to get Japan to fly way over there and lay down how it should be done? Remember, England and France and all them places that have been to Japan, they all worked together to conquer the islands. It's about those in the top positions. They didn't put the prime minister, their God. They didn't do nothing to him, did they? They tell us that so-called Abel Brown and Hitler committed suicide. Did they? Now, we know of certain individuals who were not with the gang, who were put in a position, who was gotten rid of, and always by who? America instigating in it. What would make you think allowed that? We see the video of hanging Saddam Hussein. Did he step away from the broker table, or was that even with the devil? I've heard a story from Green Berets that are hidden away, whether it be in so-called South America or somewhere else, who said that was not Saddam. And yet we saw Gaddafi murdered in the street. Well, he felt powerful and he really stepped away from everything. All the gold, all the oil, he was about to do what China and them were doing with Africa. Are we paying attention now? And many people in so-called Africa are or were our people from here. They made orphans of our people as well, people. Are y'all not paying attention to the pattern of all the people, our people that have died and the babies taken away to a land? Marcus Garvey and all them idiots working with Walter Plecker and Haile Selassie and all them other idiots. Those ships that were disembarking and you believe grown-ups were going over there? Really? When are y'all going to snap up out of it and start allowing the light to magnify within you instead of being stuck with people's false narratives and fake history and hardly even getting close to what may be relevant? You know how many times I've been to the Grand Canyon and was the only one going, look at that seashell. Look at that. Hey, that's a whalebone. Look at it. How can you tell? And I start chipping away. That looks like a bone to me. What say you? That look like a piece of wood or something? Holy snap, that ain't an elephant or a woolly mammoth tore it. I said it could be. I said, but it's a known fact. You can go in certain places right now and go digging in the mud and pull up frogs that have solidified, petrified in under a year. In dense packed mud full of minerals, literally petrified like a stone. Went to sleep, got caught up in some storm or flood. Electricity popped out of the ground because that's where it comes from, unless it's the street and it's a different connection. Where we get a middle display in the clouds where it comes up, but it spreads out. Come on, people. Knowledge is common, but not common in most people. It's something that we have to acclimate, do the research, and find. You know what I'm saying? People, Zulu's not him at all. I don't believe it was him because I've listened to a couple of doctors, not on YouTube. It's different channels that stated, man, that was not him. And yet we continue to murder one another like a big game. Let me get into this reading, and then we can have that conversation later on when we make it past. Excuse me. Oh, a special gift card for you. I forgot I still had this wine voucher I never used. Oh, man. Oh, it's real. But it said claim within 30 days. It's old. Actually, I just got another one. Anyway, it was a bookmark. Let's go ahead and get into this next chapter, which is chapter 4, The War Behind the Walls. Okay? And I must have another sip of water, but first, a piece of chocolate. Excuse me. My apologies, people. That's making me want to put on my cowboy boots, my buckle, my Wranglers, my 6-shooters, both of them. One of my Stetsons, or and go get on a damn horse 2 blocks away. I love dark chocolate. My back's sore though. Y'all see when I be riding, I be boy. I ain't nothing like riding a horse. This is the most beautiful thing. Well, I got that powerful horse right there, Blue Thunder. He is stretched out. I need to go and close that curtain a little bit because the sun's going down home. You good, Papa? I'm going to close this a little more. The sun ain't hitting on you anyway, so you're happy. You're good. My son is beautiful as the sun is. As she is. That's right, y'all. The sun is a she. Not a him. Not a sim either. All right. I ain't gonna lie, I did 5 chin-ups. My back was killing me. Anyway. Oh, that's some good chocolate. Dark chocolate too. The best. Excuse the hair, please. I'm gonna stretch off a little bit. Chapter 4, The War Behind the Walls. What's this one? Yeah. I might watch some old Clint Eastwood or something. Charles Bronson. Charles Coburn. Oh, you know I watch a lot about melanated Western movies. We've got plenty of them too. You should look it up. The War Behind the Walls. When we were all in silence, waiting for the words of the captain, who was going to tell us something that seemed to be unique, a colossal-sized craft loomed and seemed to be coming straight at us. One of the boys went up to see what he could spot and shouted as he descended in a violent manner, "They're coming towards us! It is something gigantic!" We all panicked, but Butler ordered, Los Confounded, by Claudio Naselli. We all panicked, but Butler ordered to remain calm. Although he remained calm, he seemed a bit nervous compared to what we had been experiencing before. This made me more uneasy. Who would be coming towards us in this giant craft? As it got closer, we did not change the north course. It had a reddish color, and as it got closer, we could see that it was more and more immense. I will not deny that I feared for my life and that of the team, and I could not believe that we had just left the walls of ice behind. Something was going to prevent us from continuing to investigate this unknown ocean. So they made it past the wall, and it was a vast ocean. I also thought that we were the only ones who had come so far in these areas. We did not know exactly the depth, but the ocean still looked dark. A deafening sound enveloped us. We could hardly stand it. It was a screeching sound like some kind of horn. Then a voice with a perfect English accent came before us, saying the following: "Dear visitors from the walled lands, some of our men will come down and approach your boat. We will do you no harm. Please remain calm." This message sounded even more frightening, and inside me I thought they might attack us, but it's not like we could escape from there either. This ship was gigantic and looked like something out of a fictional tale from a far future. Butler reassured us by acknowledging that he was aware that something like this could happen, to stay calm and welcome this new visitor in any kind of way. 3 men were making their way to our ship. This was the first time we had ever had a visitor, and we were not even sailing in familiar waters, nor were any familiar people coming aboard. The men had white suits and some emblems stood out on them. There was a flag flying on top of the ship, if we could call it that. Said flag was completely blue with a white circle in the center. Does it remind y'all of our original flag, the blue bonnet? It had a star, a 7-point. They turned it to a 5-point to eradicate history based on the Republic. The Republic, as far as my Federalist papers that I keep with my ancestors, the Republic of Tartaria, the original old world. We helped the men up, and they greeted us kindly by shaking our hands. One of them introduced himself as the captain and asked us what we were doing sailing in this area across the wall. Butler spoke for us and informed him that we were sailing around the Antarctic Circle, and that a current had brought us to the other side, and that we had decided to sail through these areas to investigate it. It would be my impression at the time, but I had noticed a certain camaraderie between Butler and the officers. The same man turned to look at his other 2 companions, and they were amazed at such a feat. They commended among themselves that it had been a long time since they had seen something like this. He apologized for the way they should have approached us, and also the way they had to approach, saying the following words. He explained to us the reason for this concern. "We are very sorry that your visit does not seem to be welcome. It really is. But it has been a long time since we have seen people crossing the walls. In fact, we do not know how they left them either. But it does not matter now. I will give you this map with directions on how to get to safe lands. Now remember, I'm going to mark that. Now remember over here. I'm going to read this again. This is William Morris. This is his biography, as we might state. Okay. And he, as for my personal life, this is William Morris. I was a member of the Continental Navy, as the American naval force was called in the Revolutionary War. I was married to Lucy in the Revolutionary War. All right? Okay. So as we stated here, crossing the walls, in fact, we do not know how they left them either, but it does not matter now. I will give you this map with directions on how to get to safe lands, but prior to that, 3 chapters ago, and it says, he apologized for the way they should have approached us, and also the way they had to approach, saying the following words. He explained to us the reason for this concern. We are very sorry that your visit does not seem to be welcome. It really is, but it has been a long time since we have seen people crossing the walls. In fact, we do not know how they left them either, but it does not matter now. I will give you this map with directions on how to get to safe lands. This last sentence was not well taken by any of the group. We looked at each other with some fear. I encouraged myself to ask them, safe lands, did you say? Are there then unsafe lands? Well, the lands where you come from are quite unsafe, replied the man standing behind. Don't worry, you will get there fine, selling in this direction. So he pointed it out. It was a unique moment to be able to understand the situation a little. I spoke again as the owner of the boat. Excuse me, where do you come from? I had millions of questions in my head to ask. From the ancestral republic. Sir? The man answered me in a bounded way, adding later, don't worry, I understand that you have many questions at this moment. I promise you that they will give you all the necessary information when they arrive to these lands that we indicated to you. We will inform you that they will arrive so you can receive them immediately. Who was they, right? The men withdrew quickly, looking in all directions as if searching for something. The strange visit left us with more questions than answers. Butler did not hesitate for a moment, and as a great leader, he woke up the group that was still fearful and somewhat hesitant. The destination was clear now. We were heading to new lands called the Ancestral Republic. We sailed for quite a while, following the course indicated by these men. Butler indicated that it was important to follow this direction rigorously. When several of us from the team asked the captain about what he was going to tell us before the visit, he preferred not to continue with the subject, as if he had changed his mind outright. Although he told us the following: after what happened, I think we will have to open our eyes. Fortunately, we ran into these people, and we can. Head to safe lands. I think we would not have had the same luck if it was another boat that visited us. Let's remember that there are people we left behind, very powerful people, who do not want us to be selling these waters or knowing all this. Let's wait to arrive as soon as possible to the Republic, and then they will understand more about the situation. It is something complex, but I am glad we have crossed the walls. The journey has just begun, comrades. It is time to understand that we are in a war zone, doing something unique. War zone, y'all. The last sentence left us speechless. We all asked in unison, what do you mean in a war zone? War zone, what kind of war? What kind of war? What kind of war? They asked in repetition. Of course, that would have been the same way. All the questions were directed to the captain. He answered them all by saying, comrades, pay attention and let's get to these lands. indicated everything will become clear as soon as we anchor. The temperature had changed quite a bit as we moved away from the walls. In about 30 days, the area enveloped us with a temperature climbing. As indicated, we would be close to these lands. Birds of various types began to be spotted, and vegetation on the waters that were now clearer. I had an inner feeling that we were making a history, forgetting a little the captain's phrase that we were in war, or a war zone, without knowing it. In that case, I would like to know who was the enemy. And here we go into the human reset, chapter 5. It starts to get really good from this point on. On a clear night, we could see in the distance different lights that went from east to west, illuminating the way in our hopes in a mild but very dark night. Butler observed the group that was stupefied by such beauty. It was a giant and silent city. It seemed an electric world out of a book by Thomas Bourne. Now we think about Tartaria, the whole world, before they just started destroying everything. Things starting to make sense. When you think about Chicago and New York, Oklahoma, those places, San Francisco, those places were lit up like a big Christmas tree, more than they are now. We decided not to wait any longer in unknown waters because of the possibility of being attacked by an enemy that we still did not know because of the warning of the ship that had intercepted us when we crossed the walls and alerted us about the danger and about the supposed war that was being fought. Although we were supposed to have arrived to safe lands, nothing seemed safe at that time. We arrived at the port of what looked like a large and modern city. We were on deck waiting to be received, and in less than 2 minutes, several agents dressed in similar uniforms that those on the ship were wearing approached us, and in a very respectful way, they welcomed us. "Now, welcome to the Ancestral Republic," one of them pronounced, while shaking hands with Butler, the captain. We were Morris is the owner of the ship, Butler is the captain, people. "We are happy of your visit to our lands. It was something unthinkable. We were informed that you would come, but anyway, we could not believe it until we saw it with our eyes. Your visit is so rare, not to say impossible, but here is our joy to receive you," he pronounced. Now that reminds you, right? Speaking good English, aren't they? Now you remember in that book, Heaven's Bearers, the fact that Phoenicians, certain individuals spoke a different language as the Tartarians, but didn't want to teach the Tartarians their true language. Okay, let's go on. Butler thanked on behalf of the whole boat and introduced me as the owner of the boat. I was going through all the emotions together that can be imagined and immediately wanted my questions to be answered. Although the fear of being in unknown lands in many occasions overcame the strong emotions of having discovered something immense, I was carried away by the latter. I think the whole team started with the idea that this trip had every chance of going wrong. But here we were in the land behind Antarctica and being welcomed by citizens of a modern city. It was time to ask everything. "It is an honor to visit these lands that until today were unknown to us," I proclaimed. Before I mentioned anything else, this agent interrupted me, saying that he had to take me to the office of the President of the Republic himself, since our visit was almost unprecedented. That furthermore, the President was aware of it and had notified that we take him immediately with him. He asked me to accompany him, and looking at Butler, who nodded his head, I went after him among some people who observed the situation. We were strangers who came from inhospitable lands, and I think this generated such confusion in people as in ourselves. A vehicle that I had never seen in all my life was waiting for us. There was not even a corner, at least in this part of the city, that was not reached by the illumination of the great lanterns that adorned and generated the sensation of being in a tale of the best writers. The silence of the city was now more understandable, knowing that there were no carriages, horses, or any type of vehicle that I knew from my experience in big cities like New York. And yet we know in the Revolutionary War, we're going to leave that alone right now. The difference was abysmal in everything. Their clothes were also colorful. The agent that accompanied me had in his hands a luminous device that transmitted different images and voices. The language that was spoken was different, and I did not understand a single word. A huge stone building stood out among the rest. With large and clear letters, it said Presidential Office Rebirth. And the flag of his country was highlighted by a perfect illumination. The blue circle in the center seemed to stand out. When we arrived, I followed the agent until we entered this immense building. There were connections for the passage between each room. There were seats of different types, and the lighting was dim. When passing to one of those rooms, I touched one of the walls, which were as cold as marble. I had again some... I was thinking something about my ex-wife. Anyway, I had again some fear about everything I was living. I understood the protocol that our visit was not common, but I was already dizzy between so many stairs we climbed. The agent asked me to wait for him in one of the comforting seats. And the truth is that I could have waited there for hours. The comfort of those were indescribable. A tall man with a mustache came out to greet me. "So you are William Morris from the United States of America?" he asked. "No, that's right," I answered. This gentleman shook me tightly by the hand, commenting that he was sorry to receive me in one of the worst situations experienced in that republic. In fact, he commented as follows. "My name is Fael, that's F-H-A-E-L. I am sorry that you have arrived in these times we are going through. It would have been totally different, your visit and your reception in normal situations. You will know how to understand now when I put it in context. I had so much confusion and questions that I could not say a word. A single word, excuse me. You see, Mr. Morris, the situation is extreme and there are moments of tension. This war was usually seen from afar, and now we are part of it. I should explain many points for you to understand, but I will have to be limited because I have many men selling at this time and they need valuable information." I nodded my head as if pretending to understand everything, only to give way to the story. Hence, some answers that could place me in a situation. Maybe you don't fully understand it yet, but we are part of what we could call the old humanity. I mean, we were not part of the last reboot process. Do you understand me? I would have every desire to be able to say that I understand, but the truth is that I am almost lost in all of this. What do you refer to as ancient humanity? And how many humanities exist or existed? There were many humanities in different times, as well as there were many resets or reboots. This happens every certain time already stipulated, or it is done before that date for external reasons. I mean, in a way, intentionally created before reaching that time. As far as we know, here in reality, it always happens this way, since the natural way is also carried out by the same who manipulate the environment where you come from. What is this human reset? The reboot is a process they carry out in their lands to annihilate every human being, leaving only their newborn babies, to repopulate those lands and carry out the same process over and over again. The reasons for the reboot, according to our information, is carried out when something gets out of the control of those who rule on the other side of the ice walls. The factors can be several, and they do not doubt it at all. Believe me, the knowledge of other lands can lead to a reset. If it could be by pests, floods, fires, plagues, wars, missiles, or war bombs they call asteroids. Or it could be all that together. It doesn't matter how. The fact that we have escaped before is reason enough of a threat for them not to want us breathing. Do you understand me now, William? My head was spinning. I felt dizzy, and I thought I would fall there in front of this Mr. Fael, faint. While I understood the situation, I could not believe that all that was happening in the lands where I was born. I sat up in a hurry and started to sweat cold, man. I understand your feelings, William. I wanted to go straight to the raw history so you can understand the situation. Understand the situation? There is much more to know, but you will learn it. with the days in your stay here. And although these lands are considered out of the conflict, nothing and no one is out of this conflict in these days. Now, if you allow me, I am sorry that the conversation has been so short, but I must leave urgently. He shook my hand, and again he rushed back into a room. The agent next to me looked me in the eyes as if he understood my pain for the lands I was leaving behind. It was a before and after. I could not believe that all this was happening. We returned to my boat, where I had many things to tell the group. Butler was not there, and I gathered everyone and told them the situation and how little I understood of everything I had experienced in President Fayo's office. The group was more stunned than me. They began to question me that I should have asked this or that, as any one of us would have done. When you ask this, you should ask this. We're impatient. No patience. We don't understand the truth of time. But with a confused mind immersed in the darkness of the story told, it becomes difficult to even breathe. We were all in a crisis of not having anything clear. I began to ask where Butler had gone. They told me that he had left the boat as soon as I left with the agent. We do not know where he was going. Again, we lost Butler, but now in unknown lands. We were silent, pensive. All this was going around in my head. The old humanity, the death of all of us intentionally. Who could carry out all these macabre plans, and with what intentions? When all this came to my mind, a deafening sound suddenly invaded from the skies, and an explosion made us lie on the ground. The earth shook, and the water shook our ship, as if it were made of paper. Everything exploded around us. Our eyes were wide open, and we did not understand what was happening. We ran to the deck and saw the worst war landscape that anyone could observe. Not even in our times of war we lived something similar. Everything was destroyed. People screamed in the streets. An alarm sound was activated. Who knows where? But it was heard throughout the city. A voice tried to calm people down, but it was too late. They had reached the ancestral republic. Chapter 6. Now we get into the story that enlightens you to how they created Star Wars. The Anakin Skywalker, the lightsaber, electricity. The fact that iron suits were not the lies of Zionist Hollywood, where they got people riding on horsebacks, jousting with metal suits, and they tell you they were so heavy and cumbersome when we were kids, but I've had on one of those suits. I could do flips in them. I could roll in them. I was like, these suits, and then the chainmail, we learned how to make them when I was in Montclair, New Jersey. We chainmail under there with the suit, doing flips and cartwheels in these suits. I was like, wait a minute. These suits ain't all heavy and cumbersome as they had us believe. Monty Python, the new Europeans, supposedly, who have been killing all the melanated people and segregating them to a different land because they couldn't beat them by fighting, but by getting rid of enough mothers and fathers, they can get enough children to teach a false history to. So, Chapter 6, Anakin, the Giants of the South. Stunned by what had happened, and still not fully understanding the dramatic situation that was taking place in these lands, many images crossed my mind. Surely derived from the fear and helplessness of seeing the suffering of my new brothers before my eyes. There were people on the ground under the dust and rubble, like the tragically famous Sodom and Gomorrah. Enemy crossfire could be heard in the distance. I saw innocent people die that day. Everything was getting out of control in just a few moments. We watched the sky full of small silver spheres with red lights that followed the whole scene. I was not sure if they were from the Republic or enemies, but there they were without missing anything of the gloomy scene. And our dumbasses call them UFOs. We ran trying to help those we were crossing on the way, but the reality is that we had to leave the boat as soon as possible. We were all going in different directions, and the voice that before tried to calm us down now gave orders that were almost pleasant to go urgent, pleasing us. Almost, you know what I'm saying. It says PLEAS, and I don't even know what that is. But anyway, urgently getting us to the building of the presidential office reenactor. That's what we did, those who were left standing in the middle of rain and of debris and some detonations. Anguish and anger fell on me like lightning in the ocean. I raised my eyes to the sky, begging for some kind of mercy. The sky was in a furious red tone. I could observe that the sun's glow did not burn my sight. It had a dark tone, and what I thought was the moon stood out in the distance in a totally black color, as in the middle of an eclipse. Excuse me. I thought then that it was the strangest sky that anyone from the known lands had ever witnessed. Added the strange spheres that danced in the air in all directions. They were like silver eyes observing everything. The next question resounded inside me immediately after. Who was controlling these small objects? And what was their function? As far as I could see in the midst of it all, none of them were performing any attack maneuvers. The situation at the time was really heartbreaking, and the building was intact and I could enter without major problems. Although for obvious reasons, there had been some turmoil at the entrance. Anyway, and despite the existing fear, people respected each other in an extraordinary way. I cannot even imagine the chaos that could mean a similar situation in my homeland. I had lost the whole group in desperation under enemy fire. I felt concern for the others and with the responsibility by experience in the Continental Navy to put myself at their disposal, to help in some way to the city that had just received us in the best way and now suffered the onslaught of an enemy still invisible. The wounded numbered in the thousands. There were so many equipped rooms that in the face of such an attack of dimensions never seen in my humble wartime past, I was shocked. I tried to find the team, but it was impossible. I could not even recognize one of them. The people who were there in the different corners of this huge building looked at me with some suspicion. I was a newcomer from other lands with me had also come a fierce and fatal attack that would leave at least a quarter of the city destroyed, a quarter of this immense city. I tried to go through the different floors without getting lost and to find the office of President Shafael. I needed to talk urgently, with a high command. I wanted to satisfy my many questions about the enemy. I wanted to put myself at his orders. This attack was not going to be one like any other. It had touched my heart so much that I felt equally part of these lands, as much as the others who suffered at my side, as if my blood had been born here long ago. To my surprise, I found Fael, with a face of extreme concern with Captain Butler. I called his name without being able to wait to arrive among so many people around. Butler performed a kind of typical military salute from afar, without losing customs. I was glad to see a familiar face, and it generated my confidence among so much typical war machines. I saluted Fael as best I could. Excuse me, I had to burp, y'all, so it came up. Excuse me. With a faltering voice, who said everything with his melancholic look. He showed to be dressed by the situation, which was not for less. I put myself under his orders to help in what he needed and required such a situation. Fael thanked the gesture, but commented that nothing we could do, there was nothing we could do but wait for the moment. Although in a failed way, I tried again to deposit my many questions. The moment deserved it in my mind, but Fael was in a heated conversation in a kind of tiny communicator, where the other voice repeated constantly, and the following was clearly heard. We are requesting support from the Anakim. We have no choice, Fael. This was a planned attack to destroy a civilian and secure area. There is no turning back. Butler turned back to me with a typical look of leadership, reinforcing my idea that what I had heard. Are they talking about what I imagined? I asked Butler slowly. He nodded his head. They are the giant warriors of the South, William. Fael heard him and blurted out a sentence that left me even more intrigued. Not only that, they are the saviors of our people, the ones who led us to these lands before the reset of our time. He then commented to Butler that he should leave, but to do what was needed, and quickly return to his office with 3 agents following him. Butler asked me to follow him, and so I did as best I could among thousands of agents coming and going. Another attack was feared. War was brewing on the very land we had only set foot on a few hours before. The captain told me that it was time to rest before embarking on a new journey and another destination. I stared at him as if expressing my fear again. Besides, I was not sure if our ship was still standing. I could hear explosions outside, and it was then when I thought to ask, where would this destination be and the reason for it? Was it something that Fael had questioned or requested of us? He explained to me that it was not exactly Fael's plan, but that the moment required it. He would go to look for the team first to gather them here, and once they were all here, we would undertake a unique trip to the Anakim lands. But first, we would pass by their home. I was stunned trying to digest these words. I wanted to have said so many things, but my voice barely made a sound that made no sense in any language. Butler then clarified in case it was necessary before my desperate way of expressing myself. There's no punctuation marks there, guys. It just runs on. Excuse me. I should have remembered that. I'm sorry I couldn't tell you sooner. Hey, we got a punctuation mark, William. I am as much a part of these lands as anyone else you see suffering here. I was born with ancestral blood, and I am watching my brothers die. Apparently, they want to repeat history in these lands. It is time to save again the only humanity that has survived. A custodial reset. And who can save us all? Who better than the very ones who helped us cross the ice walls back then? Butler then marched off and got lost among the ancients waiting outside. I lay down on the most comfortable bed my body had ever been in, intending to sleep. But who was going to sleep after all I had been through? How would my reason process so much information from a human story never told? How would I not see the eyes of my new brothers falling in pain and not feel that we were on the right side and that we had escaped from a sinister place that I used to call home? These feelings hit my chest with a resentment and deep venom. I would want at that moment to open the doors to the innocents we were leaving behind, to the loved ones of the known lands. And then tomorrow morning we'll pick up the chapter 7, which is the disease of the human being. This is where, for those who remember me reading this, it gets a lot more interesting, and I really enjoy it. Excuse me on this. It's like in every other book. That's why I'm saying I'm not even worried about the screen. Right? Yeah, I wrote some more today. I got about 5 or 6 pages, but some have run-ons, and I'm really taking time to put quotation marks and punctuations in the right places, and parentheses and semicolons to tell a story, because there's bullet points to show the characters, and I haven't really made the names of the characters, so there's spaces so I can include the names later on. Right now everything is like a rough draft. Then I don't have a ghostwriter, so I have to really take my time doing this. But other than that, this is really, really good for those. And I know it was a couple people that purchased this, and I know y'all, if you're here, you've read it. But this is by far. And then when we get to this one right here, this one is a little thicker. It's a few more pages, but those who read this as I read this with me, when I get to here, it kind of brings everything together. And then everything outside of what I've been reading kind of gives a definition on the history of this world being such a lie. And the beautiful thing is, they can die. You dig? So I hope y'all enjoyed that. Let me give some shout outs, because I want to come back and I want to read the other books. I want to go ahead and get into this, because you know how I feel about reading this to you guys. You know I want to come back and I got to read Heaven Bearers, The Great Reset of 1834 and the Mud Flood. Exposing the Exposition 18, and that's by Janine Helen, this young lady right here. Okay. Italy or England. Exposing the Expositions of 1851 and 1950, revised. The first one was printed in 2019. He came back with a little more informative and less pictures, and that's why I'm showing the pictures in another book. But this is by Howdy Mikowski. Remember I said that they resculpted and changed the faces and heads of many statues before destroying them? That right there is San Francisco. Is that? I believe that's Chicago. And then the Mud Flood 101, a primer on mud flood theory. This is by Tim Osmond. And the rest of this is about 10 pages or 8 pages of pictures left. We already read this. It's very informative as far as like exposing an exposition as far as could this be done, when was this done, believed to be done, in the old world truly existing and hit right in front of us, in our faces, and obscured and destroyed by the very people who sided up beside us to create a false narrative of power and a monetary grab and changed our history of our lands. So shout outs, and we're going to shut it down. Rando, what's going on, family? Lamont Jr., what's happening? Benjamin MC, yes. Reploid, what's up? Ravenna Legal, that's it. Oh, the hot bag and a Ravenna, you know what I'm talking about. Because I'm like Uncle Ruggles, right? For real. Great Wolf, peace. What's going on? I'm glad to see you in here, fam. I got your last message too. Mama Red, like, bless you, already know. Original Lone Wolf, Zulu Niner. What's up, beloved ones? We're an orphan. Yeah. But you know what it means, right? Just look it up. It's contentious. It's other meanings too. It's pretty awesome. That's why we say research stuff. It's grand to do it. You get to a root word or you find its origin, and then you circumvent. And then by studying other things, then you realize, okay, not everything is so right in our face. A lot of things are flaccid, kind of limp. And we got like the lower part of it. We got to get the strong words. You know what I mean? Yes, it strikes the sky. Exactly. Yes. Pleading us. Yes, the way it should be. Exactly. The cell phone. Exactly. That's because we'll get into the time that they're discussing. That'll come along if you remember, and then they'll come up and we'll catch up to this point we're at today. Walkie-talkie. Yeah. Well, a communicator. However it may be played or displayed. And we know that back in the 60s, Star Trek, and even before that, World War II, you know, the communicator existed long ago, just like the computer and everything else. This is that it was written in stone because they knew that a deluge or the mud flood or something could happen that could destroy all documents. But thank goodness most weren't. But you have people who go out, certain organizations, and they supposedly translate stuff. They don't translate nothing. They tell a different story and they pitch it to pitch the lies, to keep people compelled in the lies and the slave mentality, to not think about the fact that they can rewire their circuitry. I want to leave things alone. I don't want to go too far. And trust in me, you can rewire your circuitry. All right? When you look at all the buildings, the way they're put up, look at circuitry boards, look at Arduinos. When you think of the Pantheon and all those buildings with all those things, it's the same way circuitry boards, Arduinos, and all those things are set up. Look at the streets and everything. They're set up exactly the same. The pyramids, how they work, even today, when you look at any of the pyramids, so-called South America, the ones up here, they're still, if you got what you call it, like an EMF thing, but they can detect a certain low hertz, you walk up to them and it'll pop off. They're still exerting energy. The thing is, if you're disconnected and your DNA is all jacked and your plugs are capped, and there's something in there that causes you to worship instead of allowing yourself to become that what you're supposed to be, you dig what I'm saying? It's pretty powerful, and it's not complicated. Some people probably want to, well, man, have you been talking about the terrorists since the 70s, at least 70s? I was going to Montclair Library. In Nishawane School, I was a Mr. Visco, the art teacher, and I gridded out a whole wall with a forest, what you see now in a grand city like the Jetsons, and painted it up on the Nishawane wall. That was for me. And we had some kids working, but I drew all that. I'm telling you, I was an artist for a long time. In Drill Hall 13 at Great Lakes, Great Mistakes, Chicago, Illinois, at the Navy base, during my service week in boot camp, the first one I put up was the stockless anchor. And after that was the A6B intruder. Then I put up the 67. I gridded those up and I painted those. And I put colors to show like I have people in the same that week, I did all those big paintings, and they kept it up, and I was the one that started it. My name used to be in the corner. They said that when I went back after like 25 years, I went back there. They said that, oh yeah, at first they told me they tore the building down. I was like, what? But it was still there. But they said that they kept repainting it, but they never. It was my signature. They couldn't. They attempted to keep my signature. Seaman Recruit. I was a seaman at that time. Recruit branch, and it was on all three of the ones that I created, and they were the first ones with the dates in 1984, 85, whatever it was, I forget. And I was at the last barracks, and my service week was the movies and doing the paintings and all the graduations, preparing the place for graduations and all that. You know, so I've known art all my life, and I used to go to Mount Clippo Library upstairs, and to the right was a big thing. Go look down. To the right, you'd be all the war over here, and all this would have all this different history and stuff. And I used to be in there pulling big books out and just drawing, carbon paper, tracing all these old buildings. And some of them don't even stand. And I used to be like, this is Montclair, New Jersey. Where's these at? And Lackawanna Plaza looked so different from what I was seeing. The part that had the train that went out, I was seeing where there was no train. It was destroyed. It was just you could see the area where the train went out. All the platform, all that was gone. It was just the center that they use to shop in now that has, you know, that had the HBO, the Blockbuster Center, the food court, Pathmark, whatever, you know, Burger King. And even that changed up the inside of it with the stores. I remember before I went to boot camp, Vanessa Del Rio in the VHS place came there and took a picture on my lap. I was getting ready to go off the Newark MEP station and fly off to Chicago. And there I am with a picture. I don't know who, I think it was my grandma had the picture, whatever, with Vanessa Del Rio sitting on my lap. I was just, 18. I was like, hey, So I remember all that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's the life that I lived. And to be talking about that, even in my travels, these buildings are ancient. Check this out. Be in England. See that right there? Established, gilded. Look at the date on that. It says 580. Yeah, that's 500 and something when this thing was built, bruh. Man, get out of here. And I was like, yeah, get back home. We're looking for the same things down in Newark, at the fake ass church down there, the perfect Catholic fake minister bastards. And this place was a center for healing, because of wars, fighting these bastards. Well, you see, they perverted everything and fucked everything up. So what's going to happen now? We can't fight back, huh? You've got to change. So obviously, maybe we have one or two watching now. They can't even like this. Yeah, good. Watch. Again, y'all live right in places and you don't even pay attention to the buildings around you. Nor do you really pay attention to the people around you either. You walk around with your head like this. Most of the time with your heart like this. But not with respect, nor with gratuity of the greatness. Your head is off your ass. I gotta say this. And most of the time your brain is in a fog or in the dirt like an ostrich. I don't care what you think or you feel or what you think you know. You don't know shit. And like I said, I ain't here to stop a goddamn thing. I want to see it play out. Like I said, there's a bunch of us that actually know the end story. It don't matter what these fucktards do. They're not going to change it. Not this time. It is the real fucking end story. Especially for them. Even if they do, whatever. I'm not going to say that. Convince themselves in their own lie. Oh, we created that. Yeah, whatever. Sure. A lot of us won't be here, but it's the end story. Trust me. Okay? They can speed up the reset, get these idiots jump around or whatever. It doesn't matter. Let's keep entertaining, having a good time. That's all. They've got enough perversions, freaks, whatever you want to call them, acting out, good puppets. Fear is their motivation. So what? We'll just keep reading. You keep bettering yourself, and that's it. Make the best of yourself. You think what I'm saying? Don't waste two of the most important weapons. I hate that word weapon, but the most important processes you have is patience and time to eradicate all fear, no matter what, and to better yourself. Okay? Like I said, it's a different world, y'all. It's terrible that these idiots keep doing what he does a day or whatever. If it's real. I'm not acclimating saying. I'm not saying that just because I say it's not a fiction, don't mean that it's real. So we need to be clear and cut. What I'm saying is you don't have to live a lie. That's all I'm saying. Okay? As far as the readings, look at this as pure entertainment. Okay? I gotta give him up. I forgot to give her a little toy from the little man. I gotta check it though, make sure there's nothing that's gonna choke him. But I appreciate everybody coming in. You know I love y'all. You know? And I know my boys are gonna run over and be like, yo, guess who's watching? And I'm gonna be laughing. Good. Let's see. It's main channel, but I don't care. He likes dinosaurs, and I got some batteries up there too. Make sure everything works. Because I'll take it back to, where, Walmart, and trade it back in. I'm not opening up no plastic though. Where's the thing? I put the battery in and make sure it works, I should open it from the other end. Duh, it's right there. Some tape. He'll enjoy this. I know he's gonna. It's my little man. He's a little autistic, but he's a wonderful, beautiful little soul. He's gonna love this. When he comes here, all he watches is Godzilla. And I'm always letting him know, you're a god too. It's got tracks and all the little dinosaurs. I think he knows all. It's got I got 2 extra dinosaurs over there in the bag too. So I gotta screw it open and put the batteries in it. And yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, guys. And I'm gonna call and see where she's at. And if she wants, she can come by and pick it up. So it's like that movie. What was that movie? With the dinosaurs and the actors and all, that's what it looks like. It's like a little track that goes around. So that's pretty cool, right? I think he'll like that. That's cool. So put the batteries in. I gotta screw it. I gotta open it with a screwdriver. So a little jeweler screwdriver, and make sure it works for my little brother. You know what I'm saying? Look, they came and watched and they left. You see what I'm saying? They're a bunch of idiots, man. Anyway, I love y'all. And let me go ahead and do this for him. Hey, Papa, you can't go. Don't start scratching on and playing with it. That's not for you. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all here in a few hours, okay? And we're going to get the other part in. Lamons Jr. Appreciate that. He was just in here, wasn't he? Wasn't Lamons just up in here? Was he in here? Oh, he didn't come over here this time. Usually he's over here. Oh, Lamons Jr., yeah, you are in here. All right, brother. Oh, he must have went back over there. Anyway, Jurassic Park. Thank you, Mama Red. I ain't all big into all these movies like that. But look, love you guys. You know where I stand. You know what time it is.